Alright, this is episode some. With Yvette. Oh, that's the sound. I thought it was the air thing I was going to turn off, but it's the PlayStation. So you said you read the Jeanette McCurdy book too, right?
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to you in that book?
What stood out to me the most was her eating disorder. And then how her mother was the one that contributed the most to it. And she kind of taught her she taught her how to count calories and calorie restrict. And really the basic stuff that people do to lose weight that you have to do, but she taught it to her at a very young age.
That we're told we have to do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a scam, the whole calorie count and shit. I think we should be counting like sugar content, sodium content, shit that you can actually... Because calories is this invisible thing that they're like...
This is good sugar, bad sugar, and all that.
Yeah, but whenever they say like there's 35 grams of sugar in this drink, like avoid it at all costs.
Right.
Like that thing's not doesn't just go. And then also they found out about soybean oil and vegetable oil that are really bad for you. That doesn't really leave your body. And better just drink plenty. So that was like, but did she talk about getting because this is before the Nickelodeon documentary came out, which just came out recently. Did she talk about being essayed? They call it essayed on the internet.
I don't think so.
No, I don't
Assaulted, no?
No. I mean, not by her...
anyone on the show.
I don't think that never happened to her. At least...
Not that she mentioned.
Not that she mentioned. Yeah. But she does say he was, like, mentally abusive.
A director, right? She didn't mention his name?
Yeah, she said...
She didn't want to be sued.
But she did also get offered lots of money to not, millions of dollars to not mention him in the book. But she turned it down. Yeah.
That's what they say, supposedly, Drake... Wait, who's the one that was in the documentary? Josh? Or Drake?
Josh, right?
Josh. So Josh...
No, Drake.
Drake was in it.
Drake Bell, yeah.
Josh Peck is the one that wasn't in it, right?
Right.
Which is interesting because Josh Peck has the same last name as that dude Brian Peck, which is the pickle boy who was arrested and went to go work for Disney for a little bit until they found out he was a pedophile.
Yeah.
But supposedly there's no relation. But anyway, supposedly, this is all allegedly, Drake, his girlfriend's going to leave him because he was given hush money.
You mean Josh?
Josh, whichever.
The one that wasn't on the show?
Josh Peck. The
one that wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fat dude, the overweight dude that lost weight and he has the cool eyes and shit. I feel sad about that because...
So he took hush money.
Supposedly, yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising. Right. I've seen him on the internet saying, like, avoiding the topic or, like...
brushing it off and shit. Like, well, I mean, everybody that was successful, though, was kind of brushing it off. Like, Keenan.
Yeah.
From Keenan Kelly's like, well, that never really happened, And maybe it didn't.
Yeah.
But supposedly people saw shit and just turned a blind eye because... Alright, so what's up with the Drew Barrymore book? What has stood out to you so far in that one?
She doesn't talk about... It's only happy stuff. It doesn't talk about anything.
Oh, that's good. Because she went through some shit.
She does... Yeah, she kind of vaguely talks about her... what's it called? Like, when they divorced their parents, emancipating.
She was... How old was she?
14. She was 14.
I just saw an interview with her and... who's that old guy that used to be the biggest late night? He was real famous. A long time. I don't know. Before Jay Leno.
Carson.
Johnny Carson. Thank you. Johnny Carson was... That's why it's good to have friends that are white. Yeah. Johnny Carson, he was interviewing Drew Barrymore and she was a little kid. He was flirting with her.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I just want to take you home. I don't know what he's saying. She's like, oh, Steven Spielberg tells me that too. And I was like, it was weird. And, alright, so there's this lady named Jaguar Wright. Have you ever heard of her? She's a black singer who used to be on Rockefeller. And if you look her up, she has like one music video and it's like a black background, and she's just showing her face, and she's just singing. She has braids and stuff. Well, like last year, she came out and she started talking about Puffy and all kinds of celebrities, mostly black celebrities, because that's who she's around.
Mm-hmm.
But then she said the same shit that's been happening to the musicians like now, like the Cassies and Alicia Keys, and how they're assaulted and passed around and drugged. She says Beyonce's drugged, and that's just been going on since Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Like that's why she was like an alcoholic and shit. She was like molested and stuff, and it's just like karma takes a while sometimes, but I think Hollywood's getting some karma.
Yeah.
I think the industry's getting some karma, which is the dopest thing. So I didn't know there's this guy named Ronan Farrow.
That name sounds familiar.
What's his name? The comedian who's British, who did the original Office, Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah.
He did that speech at one of the award shows, and he was like, I don't care, but that's your friend. Y'all are the sick ones, and this and that. And he said, Ronan Farrow's coming for y'all.
Mm.
He's the journalist who wrote the first book that started to take down Weinstein.
Oh, okay.
Harvey. But another weird thing about him is he's the son of Woody Allen, who's a pervert who married his stepdaughter, right?
Right.
But he's the son of Woody Allen and his first white wife or whatever.
Mm.
So I don't know his relationship with his dad. Maybe he's like, fuck it, I gotta do this to right my dad's wrongs and shit. But he's the one who basically helped get Weinstein accused. So that was the Me Too movement beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's shit. I think it's still continuing. This is still the waves of the Me Too movement. Like,
yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool, but it's scary because it's like, then we're finding out the truth, like with the kids on the. Have y'all watched the documentary?
We didn't finish it. We watched the first 2 episodes.
Quiet on the Set.
Yeah, probably the first 2, I think.
It
was hard, man. It
Hard to watch.
I mean, they just went in depth with some stuff,
like the torturing one episode, right, where they did the Fear Factor.
Yeah, they went through that. Well, what they detailed was like the pickle guy, like everything they found at his house.
What did they find at his house?
Like hundreds of pictures, like Ziploc baggies with little girls' names on it with their panties in it.
What?
Yeah, just like
I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was.
So it just went real in depth on that stuff, and it just got uncomfortable. It was hard to watch.
And he's not in jail right now, which is crazy.
Really?
he in jail?
Was it him or maybe it was the other guy that had the Ziplocs? Because there were 2 guys.
I don't think they're in jail. I don't think
bet both of them
Schneider
aren't.
The
Yeah.
only
or
guy
Peck.
that's not is Schneider, but that wasn't Schneider.
No, it wasn't.
Peck got
was-
locked up and then he got let go.
There was another guy though.
Okay.
Not Schneider or Peck. There's a first guy
Behind the scenes
before
guy.
Peck. Yeah, that did I think that same job that the Peck guy ends up doing, like where he's kind of like just the liaison of the kids or whatever.
The groomer, basically.
Yeah,
The handler.
yeah.
Alright, so it's interesting, man, because like, alright, so then Kanye, you got people, you know Orlando Brown?
Oh yeah.
So he's been talking shit about
All of this for years.
the abuse being passed around. But damn, I forgot where I was going with that. But that's been everybody's like, oh, he's crazy. Oh, Kanye was saying a bunch of shit before they back whenever he did that rant at that concert. He was like, Jay-Z, I know you got hitters. Just call me, bro. And now there's been like evidence leaking out where he may have had some of his mistresses killed, which were art musicians, because for Beyonce supposedly.
Right.
And then he got with her when she was underage. And but Kanye was talking about Google way back then.
Yeah.
He's like, Google's lying to you. Google just recently got found out. They just proved that Google interfered with the elections. Like a bunch of times.
Mm.
Like where they would put the Democratic stuff towards the top, anything Republican, you had to like search for it.
Right.
Yeah. So they got proven that. So that's just hiding information. That's not necessarily lying. I don't know, but I don't know, man. It's pretty scary. Cause like Jamie Foxx, you know how he had that stroke or whatever. Supposedly he was gonna tell on Oprah and Tyler Perry because they're apparently abusive to their
the employees and stuff.
the employees, the actors. Monique came out, talked about him. People was like, oh, she's crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
What's funny is he was gonna open up a new studio, and supposedly he didn't do it because of AI, but I bet you he didn't do it because like there's gonna be some allegations coming out.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody, I don't know, that's the whole thing with the Diddy raid. Like maybe they're just getting videos of people and they're like, okay, we can't show this one. This is a prince.
Yeah.
We can show this one. This is a celebrity. They're getting rid of the ones that they got paid to get rid of, supposedly. Because it's starting to come out that Ashton Kutcher's like a real good friend of Puffy.
Really?
And then he might get subpoenaed, yeah. Him and Mila Kunis were under fire because they were defending Masterson.
Oh,
Danny Masterson.
Hyde.
Hyde. Because you know how he got arrested for assault or something?
Right.
So they wrote letters for him and, you know, he got put on blast. And because of that, they asked him to leave that organization that he co-founded.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For the kids that were getting
Yeah,
assaulted and stuff.
that's
trafficked.
what I was thinking. That he, well, didn't they also like he was helping like he would help fund a software that like was helping take down pornography, like child, or it was able
Same
to.
company, I think.
Yeah. They made him resign. And now they're supposedly, I don't know where these like I guess there's people in Hollywood who are like, now we get to talk, so they're letting out these secrets and rumors. Some rumors seem legit and some don't, but supposedly like Mila Kunis doesn't want him talking about Puffy at all or like coming to his defense because he was at a lot of his parties and he probably participated in some shit.
Hopefully not.
I bet there's a lot of people though that got invited to these parties that didn't.
Yeah.
Or even see some wild shit.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who would leave before the weird part.
Right.
Like
I'm sure they just thought, I mean, it's Diddy's party. Who wouldn't want to go?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure before all of this, I never liked him, so I guess not. But like,
I always had a bad feeling
that's
about
true.
Puffy,
Yeah.
bro.
That you remember that rapper Slim Jesus? That was this little skinny white. He was famous for like a month,
vaguely.
or whatever.
Had face tattoos.
No.
Oh,
He looks like Eminem, but like super short, super skinny.
He'd always wear a beanie.
I think so. And he would always dress like Eminem, like white tee, like old school Eminem blue jeans.
Right.
But whenever he was like in that little bubble of fame, Diddy offered him $1 million to sign to Bad Boy, and he turned it down. And now everyone's like, and he's coming out and being like, "See, y'all thought it was crazy for turning down $1 million from Diddy." And now y'all see, like, he didn't say anything specific, but...
Well, supposedly it's rumored, because some people are like, you knew what was going to happen. You knew you were going to have to give up your ass. And now you complain about it, but you knew what you were going to have to do. There was this lady who's the mother of somebody named China Black, I think. She was being interviewed, and she was like, Cassie knew what she was doing. She knew she was going to have to do drugs and get pimped out and shit. But she said, she said the money's for, so that he's like, Puffy called up people that she had her have sex with and was like, I need like $5 million from you, $5 million for you, because he paid her the $30 million like the next day after she put the charges against him.
Yeah.
Supposedly Will Smith is involved and shit. Like now you got bodyguards coming out, musicians that never made it coming out, family members of famous people coming out, and it's like a lot of people are like, "Oh, these are clout chasers and shit." But I'm like, I mean, maybe some of them, but you can kind of tell.
But I never,
Like there's this one dude who was like really shook. Like you can tell he was traumatized when he saw this shit. And it's like, I don't know.
It's the same way I feel about like Bill Cosby. Like at some point, I just don't know. That seems like too many to be fake. All of them are lying. Just seems weird to me.
Now on the other side of that, to play devil's advocate, he was about to get. He was trying to own NBC or something.
And then that, because Prince, same shit, trying to own his masters or whatever.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Supposedly Puffy lost his protection from the Illuminati because he was trying to get more money from something. But he was, I don't know, something happened where they're like, he's out of favor.
Right.
And so now it's just like, okay, now you're throwing him to the wolves.
It's almost like, not really, but like, have you ever watched any of the John Wicks?
Yeah.
With the little secret society of assassins and shit. Kind of like that. Like, they got their own little rules. Like, oh, he's excommunicated now.
Exactly. And even one of the male prostitutes was interviewed. He was like a Puerto Rican dude, and he was like, he's like, yeah, it's like the black part of Illuminati. They call it the Boule. And I knew about that shit from like fucking like 2012. There was a documentary that my friend showed me with Professor Griff from Public Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about like the sacrifices and the symbolism and all that crazy shit.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Forgot.
It's all good. It's all fuck. It's gonna be. It's okay. It's not gonna be.
Debbie, what?
It's all good.
Come here, puppy. It's okay. It's okay. Just some thunder.
Oh yeah, y'all. We're recording this on the day of the eclipse, the day of totality, and we're still alive. Got a little headache because I think I looked at it too long, but nothing crazy happened.
No, the storms are coming.
Storms are coming.
Yo.
It's okay, baby.
And right now I'm feeding the animals.
Yeah, so you rather hear like a machine, right? You're gonna use a can opener. So they talked about, they went into, that was like a whole episode of that one guy, like his house and shit and all his stuff that he had. What was the other episode that y'all watched?
The first episode was just kind of like very introductory and just about like where Dan Schneider came from.
His origins.
His origins, basically.
Where did he come from?
Well, so he was an actor on some, like he was a not an extra, but like a side character on some show, and I can't remember what it's called.
When he was still thin, right? Like, I think I saw a picture.
No, definitely not. Because he was a side character in like maybe 4 or 5 things where he literally just played the fat kid that everyone made fun of. Like his only lines would be like or something because they called him fat or some shit like that, right? And for whatever, but then he started writing on one of those shows. And when that show ended, somebody from that show was working at Nickelodeon and was like, yo, you want to come try to write for me? Mm-hmm. And so they wrote all that. Mm. And they started writing all that. And then first episode goes into him discovering Amanda Bynes. And they never, like, say anything about... Because she's not on the show either.
On all that?
No, I mean, like as an adult, she doesn't come on the show and say anything or like.
Oh yeah.
I mean?
So I've heard a theory that that's not really her no more or something like that.
She's on some crazy shit for sure.
Yeah.
She came out with that rap song. It was
Recently?
like a minute long.
The one
it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
She's had the tattoo. Yeah, supposedly that's not her. Yeah. The same person said that it's not Britney Spears either. They either got a mask or it's somebody else,
right?
Or AI or some shit.
But they're basically they're just showing they do say like they were always around each other though. Like
Amanda and
Dan, like they would be in his office writing together or something like that all the time.
She's the one that got pregnant, right? And had to get an abortion.
No, that was Britney Spears' younger sister.
So supposedly
she had the baby.
Supposedly. That, I mean, like, allegedly. And we don't know. I mean, it's a rumor.
Yeah.
It's a rumor that Amanda Bynes did get pregnant by Schneider.
She gotta get an abortion.
Oh, really? I never heard that one.
Yeah. The Britney Spears sister, she had the baby.
Right, that's right.
And it looks like Schneider.
Right.
And her boyfriend broke up with her probably because it's like, this ain't
clearly that's
my kid. Yeah.
But yeah, and so that's basically the first episode. And them saying how he wasn't mean or anything at the beginning of all that, they said, really. It just sort of seemed like the power got to his head. And then they also interviewed the only 2 women that wrote for him. And apparently he was very sexist.
Oh, I saw a clip. It was so hard to watch. Like when she said that he made one bend over and pretend
Act like
to
you're
get,
getting sodomized while you
Yeah.
say that story.
And at first they were laughing and shit, and he was like, "No, I'm serious.
No, like, do it, yeah.
If you're not, then you're fired." It's like, what?
That's
the
nuts,
fuck?
yeah.
And it's like some people, the people who say, "Oh, they're making that shit," it's like certain things you can't just make up. Like,
Right, like that's weirdly
That's-
specific,
yeah.
and you could tell like they're going back to that moment
yeah,
by
I
saying
think it's
it.
hard for them
Yeah.
to say it.
And
And
then
shit.
after that was talked about, she goes, yeah, so she's like, I feel bad for that young girl, whatever she went through.
She, yeah, that
Right.
the one that he said that to, she didn't want to talk about that.
Right.
It was the other lady that kind of told
That was
the
there.
story.
Yeah.
And then but then the one he said that to ends up quitting, and so then the other lady is just by herself with all men, and so he was making them split a salary as well.
Wow.
And then they find out, the men are getting paid normal, whatever.
And then also they were working overtime and shit. Like,
So then the one lady quits, and he's like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna bring you on for the second season, and I'm gonna pay you a full salary, but I also need you won't get paid for these 80 weeks, basically."
and they did that to the kids too, right? They're
I
making
think
them work
so,
late.
yeah. Oh yeah, they were breaking child labor laws and stuff. All of them were talking about that.
It's crazy because it's like that's a certain kind of evil, because it's not just sexual abuse. Like, it's not just a pervert. I mean, there's no just that, but also he's mentally and physically making them work. So he's like, it's an evil kind of.
Every power trip he could get on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they have to do what I say.
And they couldn't say no.
Right.
Otherwise, they seem like too hard to work with.
That's what some of the parents were saying too. Like, I didn't want to say, "Hey, we need to go," because I don't want to mess up his opportunity or whatever.
But what's crazy is so that the same shit that they do to the kids, they do to the adults. Like when Monique did the Precious movie with Oprah and Tyler Perry, they wanted her to go promote it in Paris.
That was them three. Made them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Monique was in it, but Tyler Perry
Right.
and Oprah produced it.
Okay.
And they wanted her to go for free to, they said they'll get her a hotel though, but she's like, no, I don't have a lot of time to spend with my family. I did my contractual work. I don't have to go promote it, so I'm not going to go. And
Right.
so after that, they started labeling her as hard to work with.
Right.
And so, like, nobody wanted to hire her.
Yeah.
She got blackballed. And it's
Right. To see her for a while.
yeah. And I just remember like a year or two ago when she came out, like talking about Netflix didn't want to give her no money, and
Yeah.
I didn't really know what that was about, but it must have stemmed from that.
Right.
Yeah, and supposedly Jamie Foxx was gonna say some similar shit.
No.
It's
I don't
crazy.
know.
No. It's just the beginning of the year. Well, are we in the first quarter?
We're in the second quarter now.
It just first quarter finished. Just January, February, March.
Yeah.
That was a heavy quarter.
It really was.
A lot of shit came to light. Because Cat Williams came out in January.
Right.
And then in February was the Monique one, which I didn't watch. And then this month was Diddy. I mean, March was Diddy.
March, yeah.
And then, but not only that, behind the scenes, there was documents unleashed. I think Ghislaine Maxwell got moved. Supposedly she's been dropping information, so there's shit going on behind the scenes too.
Right.
The CERN, the particle machine, they turned that shit on today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's scary.
So the shit that I saw in the clouds, the shadows,
Yeah.
somebody else got it on video. They saw it too.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looked like it was between the clouds, but it was just a shadow. Like if it was a fucking angel or something.
That's weird. Or like something invisible, but it would still cast a shadow.
Right.
Oh.
You ever heard the theory of the firmament? Like if the Earth
It's all
is
water
yeah
outside of us, right?
yeah
Like space is water.
Just
Essentially.
rockets never go straight up.
Right.
They always curve, and they always say that it's supposedly to break out of the firmament or break out of the atmosphere, but supposedly they never do.
Yeah. Simon's a huge believer in that.
Yeah, I really wasn't, but it's kind of weird when you start, I don't know, thinking about it. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. But that's what it looked like it was in between it or something. Like it was in front, like behind some clouds, but in front of the front. It was,
It's weird.
yeah. But if you had the glasses on, you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's right by Uncle Monkey's backpack.
Backpack.
It's interesting, like, with the whole truth stuff or whatever, right? Because it's kind of happening in wrestling as well.
What do you mean?
Well, like, Vince McMahon, he had to quit or step down from WWE completely.
He got caught up.
Yeah, there's, like, heavy allegations against him. That still have nothing's necessarily, like, he hasn't been arrested yet or anything, but they've, like, this one woman is dragging him, and then so everyone came out, and so, like, he had to, and that's the dude that, like, built wrestling, basically, to what it is today, at least. But, and then there's this guy, CM Punk, who was a wrestler, he was big in, like, 2010-ish, and when he left WWE, he went out on live TV and, like, kind of buried the whole business, and was just, like, saying, like, obviously this is all fake, there's dudes back here that are bad people, like, not good people, blah, blah, and then he left, they quit the company. And so, like, a few years ago, he started working for a new wrestling company, and all this controversy was happening, and then he quit there. And so everyone was saying it was him, but now there's, like, people have backstage footage, and he did an interview recently where he's, like, just basically saying, like, this company is ran by somebody who's not a boss. Like, all the employees run the whole wrestling company. Like, he doesn't have a rider or anything. And so sometimes there's conflict between wrestlers, and he doesn't do anything. And so they end up fighting. These are, you know what I mean? Like, they're athletes ultimately. They're probably going to fight if no one's there to tell them not to.
Right.
And just interesting stuff that, like, everyone's trying to hide within it. And he's coming out and being like, I'll tell y'all what happened. Yeah. Even Brock Lesnar is part of those allegations against Vince McMahon.
Who's that? Who's Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar was, like, huge in wrestling, and then he went to the UFC and won the heavyweight championship over there, and then went back to wrestling and dominated everyone. Like, he's almost as famous as The Rock, kind of, just because he was in UFC for so long, and he was killing it in UFC as well. But his name isn't mentioned, but it says a former UFC heavyweight champion that is now like it's no
like
one else.
Implicated that he was with him.
Well, that they were texting. Because apparently Vince was pimping this girl out to wrestlers and people.
And then that's what they all do for some reason. Because that's what Puffy was doing.
And he didn't finish paying her off, and that's when she came out.
Because he didn't pay her off.
He didn't finish paying. He was, like, doing it because they have, like, he kept documents of everything apparently, even all this shit. And so apparently he was gonna pay her in, like, 3 payments and stopped after the first one.
I should have known.
Yeah. It's also crazy to me, though. I'm not saying that she's not wrong and that she probably was abused.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to take the money and you're only coming to court because you didn't get paid the money, I don't know, though, because then it's like you did a job and you didn't get paid for it, so... Yeah.
Like, legally, he owes her.
Yeah.
For that work. I don't know, it's scary, but, like, I've always thought that the industry was demonic, and I think that's part of it. Like, people say that they walked into, like I don't know, I think it was Puffy's house, or I think it was Puffy's house, where they said he has a whole house in the backyard, like a guest house. And he went back there, and there was grown dudes just having sex with boys. It's like Greek. It's like what the Greeks would do.
Yeah.
Those weird, in the ancient times. The boy lovers, because there was philosophers that were like, yeah, it's cool to have a little boy lover for some reason. And what's weird about that is that same culture, they turned that into sororities and fraternities, and you got to get hazed to get
That's
in there.
wild to me. I always, even as a kid, was like, there's no chance I would go through that.
Me neither. Like, I just didn't. But not only do you have, so in the industry you got to
but
get
they get
hazed
connections,
too.
right?
Yeah, you get
That's
hazed
all,
in Hollywood, and you get hazed in the music industry.
Yeah.
It's easy one. That's how Orlando Brown was explaining it. Like, you knew what you're gonna have to do.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I want to see Biggie locked. No, not Biggie. I want to see Puffy locked up for Biggie.
Yeah.
And for maybe, alright. But see, they say, alright, so supposedly, like, cause I watched this I rewatched the Professor Griff documentary. Supposedly, all the rappers had to basically do the gay thing, right? Like, maybe even 50 Cent and Tupac. The difference is, Puffy was doing it with underage people and drugging them.
Right.
And, you know, basically raping. So it's like, I don't know. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they're gay and that's the thing. Like, it's like, nah, that's not really the thing. The thing is that some of these dudes were also, it wasn't enough for them. Like there was this, I forgot who it was, some singer. Bobby Valentino told one of Puffy's bodyguards, who was bodyguarding for Bobby Valentino, and he said, man, I get so much pussy, it don't even excite me no more. And the bodyguard was like, what does that mean? And he was with 2 girls, and then he was like, oh, maybe those aren't regular girls. And he went to the restroom with him, and he went in, and they were like standing up, and they pulled their dress up, so they're like transgender or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine, they're adults, right? But then some people get so, but that's when I think it starts to get evil, like, because the whole adrenochrome thing, like where they torture somebody and then get the blood.
Right.
And there's people that they joke about it, like there was this dude who's like 50 and he looks like he's 20, and he was dating somebody who's like 20, and I think it was Wendy Williams or somebody asked him like, what's the secret like? And he's like, jokingly, he was like, I put baby blood on my face. But it's like, supposedly they gotta tell us sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta for their karma. But that's why there was all the subliminal messages of 9/11 and stuff before 9/11 happened in the cartoons.
Right.
Because they believe in karma too, and if they don't tell us.
I hope Drew Barrymore doesn't eat people.
Was that what her show was about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of truth in.
At least she only ate bad people.
Hopefully she was just like, it reminded her of her other Hollywood friends.
And she's just trying to say.
Did she write it?
I think so.
I think she was a producer at
Produced
least.
it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she is just trying to show, like, because there's a lot of people who are in it that don't want to be in it no more. They're like,
Right.
this is enough, and they're
I
trying
don't know though. She has a
get
talk
out.
show.
She's at her peak in her.
Really? Well, she's been in it since
Probably
she was
money wise.
She has a talk show.
Yeah.
She's like the new.
She's been in it since she was a child.
She's like how Rachel Ray was for a minute. I'm trying to think of someone else that did that. That like had the talk show thing.
Ellen.
Like she was on top for a minute. Rachel Ray was on
Right.
top. Ellen.
I'm always obsessed with Rachel Ray for a minute.
Oprah. But I don't want to compare her to Oprah.
Oprah's so
Yeah,
powerful.
anyone's on that level.
Yeah. Oprah's an entity. Yeah, I don't know. It's and I can't even listen to songs that have Puffy in the beginning because, like, you know how he had Boys in the Hood. There's a lot of songs where like Puffy's just on there talking and shit. I'm like, oh, I can't fucking listen to him. And then Jaguar Wright says that Jay-Z's worse. So then I already didn't really like Jay-Z, but I could tolerate him. Now I can't even listen to him. And
I've never been a fan. I never understood the appeal. Like his voice annoys me, I guess. I don't really know what it was, but
supposedly he had. You ever heard Big L?
yeah.
So Big L put Jay-Z on. Supposedly he had
Okay.
Big L killed. Oh, and I didn't know Nipsey Hussle was fucking with Puffy before he died.
Was he? I didn't know that either.
I think he just signed to Bad Boy. But Jaguar Wright claims that Snoop and Lauren London had a hand in the death of Nipsey because he would have eclipsed Snoop. Like he was that gangster, bro. I saw a little.
But his
clip.
wife?
She's a Hollywood actress. He met her after he was already.
I mean, she was in like 2 movies.
But she's been in the industry for a while. Like, wasn't she in ATL? Somebody like that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she did anything really after that.
That's why. She got probably paid for that. She probably needed the money. That's what she says. Jaguar Wright. She says that Lauren London and she seems, I don't know, now when I hear that and I see like the interviews and shit, it seems kind of fake.
I mean, maybe there's truths in it.
She said, well, I mean, like her acting seems fake for her sadness.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, that's what they do. They'll send a woman your way and they'll kind of fuck with you mentally.
Right.
Some witchcraft on you. Like, for Nas, whenever he started dating, what was her name? Kelsey?
The milkshake.
Yeah, milkshake, right? After that, not long after that, he had a mental breakdown.
Right.
And then he fell off. And apparently that was in the middle of the Jay-Z Nas thing. So Jay-Z just wants to be. It's a narcissist power thing.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, like Puffy, like he's been rich since he was like early 20s. You know?
Yeah.
So he never. Somebody was saying he never got that like ass whooping in the hood like before you. He can always get everything he wants. He's like a giant child.
Right.
I saw a clip of him being like, "I get what I want." He was throwing shit. I don't know if it was an act, but
right.
It seems crazy. He even looks weird. Like his eyes are little and his like face is big, and it's like somebody like that. You know that girls didn't really like them, so they're doing everything they can to just control people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Jay-Z. Jay-Z's like an ugly
Right.
looking dude. You know, and that's what
Scared.
they're saying. That's why Solange beat him up, because she found out like not only was he cheating on her, because Beyonce talked about him cheating on her. It was with dudes and stuff. It's crazy. So I wonder what else is gonna come out. You have any predictions? Aliens?
I hope good things.
What do you think, Shredder? Yeah, I mean, I hope good things too. Well, to me, it's good because the truth is coming to light and justice is being served. So it's good news that this shit's coming out.
It just gives me anxiety.
But it's like they're finally getting justice. They can finally breathe a little bit. The people, the
victims.
The victims. They can finally like, kind of, hopefully. Because if I was one of them, and I'd be like, damn, they raided his house, but this fool still just taking pictures on Instagram. It's like, it's really weird. Shine got out of jail, like, he did his 9 years, and now he's like a politician in Belize. They say because he did his time, so they hooked him up, gave him some money, because he was loyal. Yeah, Puffy, man, I'm glad, like, I always wanted to be rich and famous, but if I would have been rich and famous, I would have been a victim. Like, when I was little, when I was Lil X and shit, like, there was even a point in time where I felt like I was ready to sell my soul. I told Rudy and Johnny, like, I'm ready to sell my soul, and I was like 21 or some shit. If for whatever reason, if I would have kept rapping and shit, then maybe there's another timeline where I did, and I would have probably been passed around like
Right.
Lil Wayne or something. My butthole could be all prolapsed and shit. Like, I could have a tail.
You have a tail.
You know what a prolapsed anus is? When the person has a tail?
No.
You know what it is?
I don't know. I don't. They have a tail.
So like your anus comes out, it looks like you have a tail. When they have butt fucking
That's
too
terrible.
much. Yeah. That possibly could have been me in another universe if I would have got rich and famous at a young age. Hopefully not. So
There's
anyway.
infinite universes.
Yeah. You think so?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
That's scary because then it's like, oh, then there's me getting raped. There's a me smoking crack.
There's a you liking getting raped.
There's a me
All
like
of
a
it.
super gay me that just pimps myself out.
Have you watched the second season of Invincible?
First part.
Oh, okay.
Right, the first part came out.
Yeah.
Whenever he introduced him to his new family, they're like bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
I used to like thinking about all that, but now just all it gives me anxiety.
Think about what multiverse?
Just
like multiple universes?
different things.
I do believe. I don't know about that. I don't know about the infinite universes. I think though that we've lived infinite lives, maybe on this earth, and we just keep reincarnating.
Yeah.
And so, like, every person that's alive has probably lived hundreds or thousands of lives throughout time.
Right.
And we're, like, all, like, learning together and shit. We're all trying to figure it out. Because it's all familiar but strange at the same time.
But what if that's happening in every universe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be, right, if there was infinite
Yeah.
universe. But what's the point of it? Like, if there's a creator, right? Like, a lot of even scientists can agree there's a creator, and the creator of one universe would make sense, but infinite universes, like, just, I'm sure you can shut them all down at the same time.
Yeah.
Or bring them together like Doom did in the Marvel universe. He's like, I like from this universe and this universe.
Right.
And the best of the best, maybe we'll get to... Nah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So the Drew Barrymore is just good stories? Like of her hanging out with celebrities or what?
Yeah, happy stories of like her experience with E.T. She was actually she
Thought he was real, right?
she thought he was real. Well, like she knew, I guess she knew he was fake, but so she said so like even off like when everyone left, she would like talk to him.
You would have been scared and shit.
And I was terrified of E.T., so it was actually kind of funny.
You would have been a bad actor.
But in the Britney Spears book, talking about...
Oh, yeah, you read that one too?
Bringing back to the things being exposed, kind of shows that, like, everything was... The media just for some reason, they made... It seemed like everything she did was bad, and every time... She said that every time that they showed her going out, those were like the only times she went out.
Mm.
It just so happened to be that's.
But they would make it seem like, look at her always going out.
Yeah. Like
was it that crazy time whenever the Paris Hilton pictures came out when she was going out?
Yeah.
It's like a big deal about people going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop stabbing me.
It's only farting.
Hey Shredder, what are you doing?
Freaking out.
What?
Oh, because of the storm.
Chewing on your paw?
Don't chew your paw. Also, she talks about having the abortion.
She had an abortion too?
Yeah.
With Justin?
With Justin Timberlake. And she couldn't say anything about it. She couldn't go to the hospital.
That was weird. When their virginity was everybody's business. They're like, oh, they're virgins. What year was that? Like 05?
It was early 2000s.
Yeah, like before high school, right?
Before we were in high school.
Yeah.
For sure. It was like when we were...
Like 2001, maybe.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
They would talk about her
01, 02.
virginity.
That shit was weird.
Yeah.
That was very weird. A lot of shit was weird. And we just didn't notice it. I was watching this on Cartoon Network. No, on YouTube they got like Cartoon Network, like 3 hours, and includes like the commercials. They'll have Fox Saturday morning cartoons from like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching them and shit, and the commercials were, it was weird because every commercial had like a song, like for every fucking product, like peanuts, the ones you love to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there would be like cars, like Cadillac. Every single commercial had a theme song and shit. I was like, damn, that's creative. Like, there were just songs.
The jingle men out there.
Yeah, the jingles. There were always jingles and shit.
Yeah.
And now the fucking commercials are disgusting. There's garbage. There's nothing in them.
Yeah.
No substance.
I like commercials are funny.
When they're funny.
When they're funny.
All right, so the 90s were the best because they had like the weirdest, trippiest.
Oh yeah.
Like the Gushers,
The
where your
big-
head turns into the Duracell family, and they're like, and the grandma. You remember the commercial where there was a Duracell family? They were going to visit the grandma, and the grandma had a new Duracell battery, and she's like, cha cha cha, and they're like, oh shit, grandma.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That was weird.
That's also the girl flat on the. That's the 90s.
That was
right?
around
The
that time
Dr.
too.
Drugs.
Yeah. That's the smoking weed ones.
Yeah.
The Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. There's a lot of cereal ones.
The honeycombs, that big.
Yeah.
whatever,
Crazy guy.
furry guy. Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck was
Yeah.
that? Like, it was just weird shit.
It was crazy.
The Capri Sun ones are cool, where they'd like turn into Capri Sun floating, and then like a snowboard guy.
They're like silver.
Yeah,
They're-
like the Silver Surfer almost. What they looked like.
Yeah. They had a lot of commercials for like candy, like kind of like the Fruit Loop, not Fruit Loops. What is it called?
Fruit Roll-Ups?
Fruit Roll-Ups.
Yeah.
But then they had some that were just strings. They were
Oh,
like
they had a
shapes.
lot of different ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The tattoo ones.
yeah. Okay, it was a lot of. That was fun back then, man. I feel like Xavier got the last good. When the internet was still cool, because he still had like Angry Birds, the simple Angry Birds, and some simple stuff. Because now the kids, they play like Among Us, Five Nights at Freddy's. Nothing's just simple anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's scary or death. Because Among Us, you're trying to find
Who's the killer?
Yeah. And Five Nights at Freddy's jump
It's fun,
scare.
but it is kind of weird as kids.
As if it's her first game. Like, this is
Yeah.
the first shit that they.
Right.
Because they're just thrown into it.
First game should be the most simple.
Yeah, like
Sonic, go this side to that
Yeah,
side.
and they don't know Sonic. Like, they know Sonic the movie,
Right.
but they don't know Sonic the game like that. Or the only Sonic they know is 3D and shit. I don't know. I'm interested in how the kids are gonna be in 20 years.
Hopefully, cool.
Hopefully not too cool. Hopefully it's not like Idiocracy and shit.
Yeah.
It really feels like going that way.
I know. With the Oculus and. So how you feel about Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia, the UFC fighter.
The boxer?
Yeah, the one that's been saying wild
I don't
shit.
really follow it much, but
He said that they took him to the Bohemian Grove. They held him down and made him watch them like sacrifice a kid or some shit. And then he was just like putting a lot of tweets. One of the tweets he said, Elon Musk is the Antichrist.
yeah.
Now that one I found interesting because Elon from the beginning, Elon Musk to me was like, I don't know about this guy, but especially when he started saying they want to do the Neuralink,
Right.
And they already-
that thing's crazy.
and they did it in the first person.
Right.
And I've seen clips where people talk about that they've already done like I don't know the actual terminology, but it's like a half robot or half mechanical like moth, where they know how to like put something in the moth so they can control it.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, so they can do it with animals, right?
Right.
And bugs and shit. So now that they have the Neuralink and they're able to put it in somebody's brain, who's to say that they can't?
Just control you like a robot.
Yeah.
What
So-
happened if a cat ate that moth?
Well, the moth would move around or die inside it. They can still only control the moth, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's like they put it in the thing's brain.
Yeah, like it connects into
Yeah.
like the nerves and shit. They're mad
It's some
scientists.
future shit.
Yeah.
That's like Skynet. Crazy.
Yeah, that's where I feel like the AI is. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. There's some like funny pictures on the internet when I see AI. I'm like, see, that's just what we should use it for. Like, that's
Right.
all you need to use that for. People go crazy with it.
Well, its design is right now. It's just learning everything that we're putting in it.
Right.
So it's just absorbing all of our bullshit, and then what's it gonna do with that? I was telling Yvette, Johnny told me this because for one, his theory is that we're gonna use AI to fight against aliens. I don't believe that, but that's pretty cool. It's a cool movie.
Why are we fighting the aliens?
It's because
They want to take over?
maybe, yeah.
Okay. Man, if something can get to us that is so far away we can't see it, they gotta be advanced, bro. Like, holy shit.
So
Right?
apparently, a lot of the UFOs come from the water.
Oh, like they've been here, they're already here.
Like they're already here, living here,
Right.
and they like supposedly in Florida. There's a lot of sightings when they come from the water, going to
Yeah.
the water and shit. But he was saying that there's like some
That's
AI,
against Atlantis.
yeah,
Okay.
AI robots that they put them to work, like to do mundane work, like move boxes, like from right
And
here.
they
right
just
here.
shut themselves off.
They killed themselves
Yeah.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're like they felt like they didn't have any purpose.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think, oh, I have kids to go home to her family,
Right.
or cat or dog.
It's like this box. What's the point of these fucking boxes? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. I don't know, man. It's an interesting time. You're dancing.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy, so I'm staying up.
Well, that's cool. Hopefully people enjoy it. It's pretty long. And it's a weeknight. 50 minutes. Y'all want to do any shout outs? Shout out to Kibby and
Dylan.
Dylan.
Dylan
Cool.
and Randy.
Shout out Simon.